As we're about to begin, I would like to request that you silence your mobile devices for the duration of the ceremony. Mobile devices interfere with our audio technology. Also, I would like to request that you keep your face masks on. Παρακαλώ να απενεργοποιήσετε τα κινητά σας τηλέφωνα, διότι δημιουργούν παρεμβολές στο μεταφραστικό εξοπλισμό. Επίσης, παρακαλώ θερμά να συνεχίσετε να φοράτε τις μάσκες σας. Furthermore, I would like to ask that you refrain from taking pictures using flash as they create disruptions to the live streaming of the ceremony. Today, we are honored by the presence of His Eminence Metropolitan Theodoritus of Laodicea, representative of His All Holiness the Ecumenical Patriarch in Athens, the Very Reverend Archimandrite Varnavas, Chancellor and representative of His Beatitude the Archbishop of Athens and all Greece, the Very Reverend Archimandrite Damaskinos, representative of His Beatitude the Patriarch of Alexandria and all Africa, the Most Reverend Rabbi of Athens, Gabriel Negrin, the Honorable Minister of Interior, Mr. Makis Voridis, the Honorable Members of the Parliament, Their Excellencies, the Ambassadors of India and Nigeria, the Cultural Attaché of the U.S. Embassy in Athens, Mrs. Asana Diens-Zrenta, the representative of the Embassy of Israel, Mrs. Titi Matza, the Deputy Mayor of Athens and representative of the Mayor of Athens, Mr. Skiadas, the Mayor of Ioannina and representative of the Central Board of Jewish Communities in Greece, Mr. Moisis Elisaf, the Director of the Jewish Museum in Athens, Ms. Zanet Batinu, the President of the Athens Community Schools, Dr. Peggy Pelonis, the President of the Center for Liberal Studies, Mr. Skouras, Mr. Sidney Ganis, Mr. Dario Boschero, Chair of the Board of Trustees, members of the Board of Trustees, members of the Board of Directors of the Hellenic American Union, Mr. President, faculty, staff, graduates, students, alumni, family and friends of our graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to welcome you to the 2022 Commencement Ceremony of Hellenic American University. I would like to extend a special welcome to those of you joining us today through live streaming. This, for us, today is a very special ceremony, one that brings together graduates from the past two COVID-hit years, one that unites two communities in one university. I ask that you stand and remain standing for the singing of the national anthems of the Hellenic Republic and the United States of America. The national anthems will be performed by soprano Ms. Myrto Boccolini. It is my pleasure to present a music program which was coordinated by Hellenic American University music professor and division chair, Mr. Yannis Tselikas, and it is dedicated to the 200 years from the Greek Revolution in 1821. You can find the detailed program in the booklet. it is a tradition during the commencement ceremony for the highest-ranking graduates of the university in regard to grade point average in its graduate and undergraduate programs to offer celebratory remarks on behalf of their respective classes. In keeping with this tradition, it is my honor to call first upon the graduate valedictorian of the class of 2022, Ms. Despina Danai Topalidi, who has completed the Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, TESOL, to offer her remarks on behalf of her class.
Mr. President, Chair of the Board of Trustees, members of the Board of Trustees, honorary degree recipients, faculty, staff, graduates, students, alumni, family and friends, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a real honor for me to be speaking to you today on behalf of my fellow graduates, both here in Athens and in Nashua. One community with two locations. And at this point, I would like for us all to give a warm welcome to one of our fellow graduates from our Nashua campus, Mrs. Angela Mary Sepela, who was able to be here with us today. My name is Danai, and as of this moment, I am a graduate of the Applied Linguistics Master's Program here at the Hellenic American University. Today, we are celebrating the end of a journey and hopefully the start of many more to come. So first and foremost, I would like to congratulate each and every one of you. It hasn't been easy, I'm sure, but that makes it even more rewarding. To me, it seems like years and years have passed since the day that I visited the admissions office and applied for this program, even though that was just over 2 years ago. A lot has happened since then and has tried us all. COVID, work emergencies, family and other everyday struggles. But if you think about it, it all comes down to that one moment, the moment we decided to do this. And here we are now. Sometimes all you need to do is take that leap of faith, bet on yourself, and take that next step. Make that decision. And then you'll find that all the pieces will fall into place in one way or another. Over the years, there were quite a few decisions I had to make that have brought me here. I decided to study classics against my family's objections, which were quite reasonable, I have to admit, given the work landscape these days. Moved to a different country, start working in a field only remotely related to my studies, and then moved back to Greece after almost 6 years abroad. Did all these decisions turn out the way that I expected? No. Take my return to Greece, for example. It wasn't long before I found myself in a bit of a rut. That is when I applied for this master's program. And then again, soon I started wondering if I can pull this off. I really enjoyed the courses and the interaction with my amazing classmates who kept raising the bar, kept motivating me to do better with their hard work. But I was a little thrown off by the fact that I had virtually no teaching experience as opposed to most of them. But then, slowly but surely, one step at a time, lesson after lesson, course after course, I realized that I can also do this. For this and for many more reasons, I would like to thank my professors who helped me see that, who encouraged me to focus on my strengths rather than weaknesses, and steer my studies towards the direction I prefer. My fellow classmates, I guess my point is, we are the ones who pose the questions. We are our own biggest critics. And that is probably part of the process. But we can also give the answers, sometimes with a little help. If I could leave you with a final thought, it's that there's always a next step. an opportunity ready to be seized. And the moment you decide to go for it, that's half the battle won right there. Will it turn out the way you expected? Maybe, maybe not. But it is yours to defend, learn from, and eventually grow out of stronger. And please, when it comes to others, your loved ones, your co-workers or classmates, be that person for them, the person who helps them see through such times of uncertainty or self-doubt and realize that they can pull this off after all. Thank you and congratulations to all graduating students.
It is my honor to call upon the undergraduate valedictorian of the class of 2022, Ms. Anna Evangelia Robotis, who has completed the Bachelor of Science in Psychology, to offer her remarks on behalf of her class.
Mr. President, Chair of the Board of Trustees, members of the Board of Trustees, honorary degree recipients, faculty, staff, graduates, students, alumni, family and friends, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and thank you for celebrating with us on this beautiful evening. 4 years ago, I started my academic journey, but it was not at Hellenic American University. I began studying psychology at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland, unaware of the fact that I would return shortly to continue at HAU. What I couldn't find at my first university, I was able to find here, along with some things that I wasn't even looking for, which turned out to be the biggest and most meaningful influences on my life. I discovered that my learning was mainly impacted by the people I met here, and not by the books I read, the exams I took, or the presentations I gave. My instructors were able to feed my craving for knowledge in an intimate, welcoming, and open-minded environment. This was evident not only in the psychology department, but also in the general education courses that I took. A heartfelt thank you to all of the instructors that I was so lucky to have over these past 3 years. In particular, I would like to thank my beloved psychology professors. What resonates most in my memory were the personal experiences you were so keen to share with us in class. This made my time much more meaningful and unforgettable. The hours spent learning SPSS for statistics have also left their mark on my brain. It may even be more appropriate to say that there is a strong correlation between SPSS and brain damage. All joking aside, your kindness and dedication to my learning and that of my classmates did not go unnoticed. The inclusive and diverse environment here promoted individuality and gave me the freedom to be myself. Without masking my true self, I was able to create genuine and lifelong relationships with some special people. These relationships formed organically through club meetups, working in the Titan Chronicles, unforgettable gatherings outside of the library, and casual greetings at the university's entrance. Although our college may not have the same amenities of other institutions, one thing we do have is intangible: a sense of community. From the first day, I felt welcomed here with open arms. Even though I was able to unmask my identity and self from others, after my first few months here, physical masks and the removal of our basic freedoms became the new norm. Ultimately, I noticed that we became more focused on protecting ourselves from contracting the virus and moved away from protecting our sanity. For myself, I slowly discovered that my established social connections are what kept me grounded during the ups and downs of the COVID-19 pandemic. Trying to prioritize my mental health became my focus. However, I saw many of my friends and family members struggle with this. As the days, weeks, and months passed, it became harder. Our light at the end of the tunnel was the simple dream that things would once again return to normality. We are still on that path. However, once this passes, we'll be faced with another challenge, and another one. We only have control over how we choose to perceive these unpredictable situations that life throws at us. We can choose to be kind to each other, and most of all to ourselves. As Louisa May Alcott so eloquently phrased it in her book titled Little Women, "I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning to sail my ship." Before this evening ends and we continue with our lives, remember that when we learn to navigate our ships, we need to be patient, accepting, and gentle with ourselves and others. Once again, thank you all for coming tonight. To all the graduating students, both in Athens and Nashua, we did it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Topalidi and Ms. Robotis, for your remarkably inspiring comments. My heartfelt congratulations to you and your professors for your significant academic achievements. Today, we continue a tradition that started with the beginning of this university. At the same time, as the university awards degrees to its graduates, the President and Board of Trustees have selected an individual whose life and work exemplify the values that our university community holds dear. Hellenic American University celebrates and recognizes the achievements of this individual through the conferring of an honorary degree. This year, we're privileged to be in the presence of two people of significant achievement in so many ways: Sidney Ganis and Dario Boschero. I would like to invite forward Mr. Sidney Ganis, as well as Ms. Sofia Katsohi, a Hellenic American University faculty member, who will read the citation for the honorary degree. The citation is included in the program booklet.
Born in New York City in 1940 to an immigrant family from Ioannina, Sidney Ganis is one of the motion picture industry's most celebrated and successful executives. His career includes leadership roles at several studios, including Lucasfilm, 20th Century Fox, Columbia Pictures, Seven Arts, and Warner Brothers. Sid Ganis is a prime example of the trailblazing leaders that Hellenic American University strives to educate its students to be. His inspiring and innovative work in the motion picture industry has redefined standards of filmmaking. His body of work exemplifies the ideal, an ideal reflected in the university's very mission statement of relentlessly pursuing excellence despite all obstacles. While at Lucasfilm, he served as senior vice president and was responsible for marketing The Empire Strikes Back in 1980, Return of the Jedi in 1983, and the first two installments of the Indiana Jones trilogy. In 1986, Ganis joined Paramount Pictures and eventually became president of the Motion Picture Group, where he helped launch Top Gun in 1986 and Fatal Attraction in 1987. As president, he oversaw the development and production of the worldwide hits Ghost in 1980 and Forrest Gump in 1994, which would go on to become one of Paramount's biggest hits, both financially and critically, of all time. After leaving Paramount in 1990, Ganis became president of marketing and distribution at Columbia Pictures. He also served on the boards of directors of numerous companies, including Marvel Entertainment for a decade, as well as several film festivals and film-related institutions. In 1996, he stepped down to produce films via his independent production company, Out of the Blue Entertainment. Ganis joined the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences in January 1968 and served as president of the organization for 4 consecutive terms between 2005 and 2009. A longtime supporter of the Academy Museum, Ganis served as chair of the Board of Governors Museum Committee between 2018 and 2021. Most recently, Ganis was appointed a lifetime trustee on the board of the Academy's museum. At the time of this appointment, Ted Sarandos, board chair and co-CEO of Netflix and chairman of the museum's board of directors, called Ganis a, quote, towering figure in our industry who has been critical to the entire process of making the Academy Museum a reality. We are proud to recognize his commitment by naming him a lifetime honorary trustee, end quote. Sidney Ganis, Hellenic American University is privileged to honor you as a visionary leader. Your commitment to changing the process of filmmaking and your progressive work has benefited a spectrum of stakeholders, from professionals to interns and students, and your achievements are an inspiration to all of us. We are proud to recognize your work by this honorary degree.
My goodness. How wonderful. Thank you all. Good evening. Mr. President, good evening. Board of Trustees, Board of Directors, members of the faculty and fellow students, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm so proud and so very pleased to be here with you tonight. This is an honor that goes way beyond what I had ever perceived that I would be receiving myself. And of course, it's an honor that comes from, my experience and my time working in the film industry and in the world of education to the best of my ability. And part of this is, I appreciate you inviting me here. And as a Greek American, I'm both honored and humbled to be receiving this honorary degree, and delighted to being able to say a few words to not one, but to 3 graduating classes. Greece, of course, is so rich with history, but it's only in recent times that I have begun to understand and appreciate my ancestral homeland. My family is part of the Greek Romaniote Jews from Ioannina that date back to the time of Alexander the Great. Through the discovery of all of this in my past, I realized that I spring from a Greek culture that recognized from its earliest beginnings how important education is, not just for personal economic self-interest, but for the maintenance of a free and democratic society. As we know, democracies and freedoms around the world are being threatened today, from Ukraine to India, and even in the United States. Much of that can be attributed to the misinformation and disinformation spread by certain news outlets and social media platforms, to the point that people with shorter and shorter attention spans can no longer tell truth from fiction or propaganda from news. and are easily misled. Autocrats have always tried to control and manipulate their subjects by keeping them in the dark, suppressing ideas and information. We see that now in Russia, but also in America, where the recent activities and decisions point to this very vulnerable time for our own democracy. My hope is simple. My hope is that you graduates will recognize the importance of carrying on the traditions of the great Greek scholars that preceded all of us, where education that fosters critical thinking, logic, and ethics can be so valuable to the life of the mind and the imagination. The problems that we face today may seem insurmountable. Climate change, poverty, war, pandemics, but we have lived through the dark times before. And out of adversity comes opportunities, greatness, and incredible breakthroughs. The vaccines and treatments being developed in a time of crisis are a case in point. I have faith that some of you here today will be among those who help solve today's and tomorrow's challenges. If I can offer any advice, it's to be what your fellow graduate said a few minutes ago. Be honest with yourself and others, be kind, be curious, and take risks. Go the distance. Go the distance. Don't be afraid to fail, because that is where you will learn the most. Try to avoid what we call groupthink, because conforming never leads to the next bright idea. And have fun. Have fun. It's important for the health of your heart and your soul. And one more thing. Keep learning. Never stop learning. It's most important. It's the most important part of all of this. Keep learning. I must say, as a senior in this world of ours, I learn. I learn all the time. And I'm very happy about it. By the way, one of the main reasons my wife Nancy and I are here in Greece at the university is to help establish the possibility of a film studies program for young men and women to learn and work in this art form that is blossoming in Greece at this very moment. So, class of 2020, 2021, and 2022, thank you very much. Thank you all for this great honor. And go the distance. Go the distance. And go the distance because the world needs you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ganis. I would like to invite forward Mr. Dario Boschiero, as well as Ms. Sofia Katsochi, a Hellenic American University faculty member, who will read the citation for the honorary degree. The citation is again included in the program booklet.
Dario Boschiero is a researcher and scientific communicator. His life's work has focused on clinical engineering and medical education, and he is driven by the principle that the human body has been the primary source of our technology. As a scientist, researcher, entrepreneur, and humanist, he has aided and inspired many lives and will continue to do so through his groundbreaking work. Dario Boschiero was born in 1967 in Venice, Italy. He earned his university degree in electronic engineering with a specialization in robotics, automation, and hybrid technologies. As a scientist, he pursued research that helped novel medical devices that decode human signals and allow specialists to observe and evaluate body composition, cardiopulmonary fitness, and physiological performance. As an entrepreneur, Dario Boschiero founded the biotechnology company Biotechna, a leading producer of non-invasive medical devices used in diagnosis, prevention, and therapy. In parallel with his research and business activities, he has been engaged in humanitarian and philanthropic work. One of his most important initiatives was the foundation of the Open Academy of Medicine. This nonprofit community interest company is an international school of continuing medical education that offers postgraduate training in biomedical specialties. Through its research and teaching work, the Academy seeks to educate medical professionals in matters of important social impact and public health, such as the prevention of chronic diseases and disorders and the enhancement of human psychophysical performance. In the course of his research, Dario Boschiero has published important papers in biomedicine and developed strong collaboration with research groups and institutions such as the National and Capodistrian University of Athens, Ohio State University, the University of California at Los Angeles, and the Feinstein Institute for Medical Research in New York. Dario Boschiero, Hellenic American University is privileged to honor you and your inspiring record of research and leadership. We honor your commitment and service, which has had a lasting impact on the greater community. Your work is a beacon of light to all our students and future scientists. It is with great pleasure that we welcome you warmly to the ranks of our alumni.
Kalispera, good evening. It was a surprise for me, very surprise. Before my speech, I want like to thank President Koskos, thanks to all the faculty members of Hellenic American University, thanks for all the board of trustees of Hellenic American University, and thanks my colleague, Professor Kruzos. I would like to share my adventure with you. A small adventure. I hope it will be stimulus for the student and for all the people present here. I don't speak English very well because I'm dyslexic. I discovered with my machine a few months ago, with a new machine, I've discovered that I'm dyslexic. But it's okay. Yes, I studied electronic engineering, robotics, and automation. But for 20 years, I have been dedicated myself to apply in physiology. I like physiology. After finishing my study, I immediately started my first personal research to understand what the difference is between healthy people and the people with a chronic disease. It was 1994. And there was talk of lifestyle, food, psychosomatic, cancer, degenerative disease, and innovative treatments. I was very intrigued. I realized that medicine, in the transition from health to chronic disease, did not have many tools for prevention. So I had the idea that something good could be done. And start. I decided to build a not-invasive prototype to measure human tissue and to see if there were different data between subjects. But I remember that nobody won't try my prototype. Nobody. So in the beginning, the only subject was me. 1 year. Every day. So I focus for 1 year only the quality of the data. But I was a professional athlete, long jump. But one day, after sport trauma with strong inflammation, I decided to measure myself several times with the prototype. And for me, everything changed. Because I compared the data with my previous test in health, and the data is totally different. So, for the first time, I clearly saw a change of state in my body with a non-invasive electrical measure. I realized that I had created a simple tool to measure all body in short time, 5 minutes. I immediately looked for the healthy people and the people with chronic disease, for example, cancer, cardiovascular disease, autoimmunity disease, and I collected data. The data were immediately evident. It was possible to distinguish the health subject from the subject with the disease, and it was possible to locate the problem area. The next step, and before doing a clinical validation, was to move from prototype to diagnostic medical device. So it was necessary to start well. In January 1996, I set up, together with the fellow researchers, the company Biotecna, and they created the first bioelectronic laboratory in Italy with the aim to creating innovation to help doctors and research. Biotecna today is a leader in the production of non-invasive medical devices for diagnosis, prevention, and therapy. So I started my career as research in clinical engineering and inventing new non-invasive medical devices to decode electric signal and the optical signal from the human body for scientific use, diagnostic, and therapy field. In just 2 years, we have gone from prototype to medical device. So, we were the first in the world to develop a non-invasive device for the tomographic analysis of a chronic low-grade inflammatory process. Non-invasive device. It was possible to start collecting data on many subjects and explore the difference between the state of health and the disease. But we didn't search what kind of disease, but only if there is a chronic disease or not, yes or no. That is the first level prevention diagnostic for general use. For a few years, we have only collected clinical data. I remember 3-4 years. Until through the electrical measure, we discovered 3 states of the human body. The state of health and performance, the state of chronic disease, and the new state, the discovery. A different electrical data, a kind of a preclinical state, subclinical state. Okay. This research activity has made it possible to identify a series of signs and symptoms called MOS, or symptoms apparently not explained by medicine that lead over the time to disorder. These subjects were in unhealthy or in preclinical state and could, in a few years, to develop a chronic disease. This was the key point of my research. And they found that there was no test for studying MOS. But with the massive collection of clinical data, we validated the first interview in 2004. Okay, let's play, 1 second. Who has more than 2 symptoms? Okay, let's see by show of hand. Let's see. Over 2? Okay. It's not real. Now, you can see that this symptom, MOS, is very common. It's very, very common. We needed to improve our lifestyle for reduce this. Okay. In 2002, I developed the first not-invasive body composition test device that read markers of chronic inflammation and stress. At the beginning, at MedVenture, I was not an expert in physiology, and the topics of interest had little scientific documentation. That the only way to fill this gap was to collect a lot of clinical data in an automated way with this device. The device has all been connected since in 2004 to a scientific data analysis platform. And today, it is the heart of all research activity. This platform studies many data. For example, we study the performance state, health state, aging, anti-aging state, from health to disease, disease to health. We study physiological and pathological data. For all this, we use the reverse engineering, which is my strong point. It is a mix of technology and the multidisciplinary activities developed over the year, which simplify complex data into simple data for developing new medical applications. For example, new device, new test, new pathway. With this technology, my work, the work of my team, and the work of all the researchers around the world has made it possible to create other not invasive devices, completely safe for the European market, for the United States, and in other countries. The devices has been used with millions of people today. Over the years, I have developed strong skills in applied physiology. Now, many, many years. I wanted to share all my knowledge, so I have founded Open Cardiomedicine. With the Open Cardiomedicine, with the best expert in the world, we study human performance, physiology, clinical nutrition, neuroendocrinology, non-invasive diagnostic, the new therapy. It's a classic academy where we mixed all different platforms together. Over the years, I have published original articles in the biomedical field, and I have collaborated with many, many famous research groups and the institutes in the world. I just wanted to remember the work with Professor Clousos and the other colleague. Okay. Where we're the first in the world to demonstrate and validate the link between the body composition with the stress system, inflammation, MOS symptom, and the chronic inflammatory marker. It has been shown that the MOS symptoms are the index of stress, chronic inflammation, and linked with the disorder of a body composition and the prefrontal cortex. So, I wanted to remind that I, together with Professor Clousos, have a clinical validated, the first in the world, not invasive biofeedback system for reduction of the chronic pain and the inflammatory disease. I developed and validated the first not-invasive system in the world for diagnostic for osteosarcopenic obesity syndrome. It's a pandemic, very pandemic. All these years have led me to create a search engine, the big data, biotechnical big data, with about 20 million biomedical and physical data, as important free tool for the scientific medical world. Okay, I think in the future, tools will be developed for predictive and preventive medicine. Tools will be developed to improve people's quality of life. And my hope is to try to reach more than 100 years in excellent health. Thank you. Thank you.
My heartfelt appreciation and my congratulations, personally and on behalf of the university's faculty and students, go to you, Mr. Ganis and Mr. Boschiero, for your words of wisdom today and for your lifelong contributions to science, academia, society, and the arts. It is my honor to call upon the president of Hellenic American University, Mr. Leonidas Fivouskoskos, to deliver the 2022 presidential address.
Eighteen years. 18 years turned Hellenic American University this May. And here I am, addressing you as president of a university younger than its graduates. Younger, but with the maturity of the accreditation. And here we celebrate the 30th commencement of our institution. And here you are, commencers, to use a 13th century English word for the participant of this ritual. However, commencement is not just a ritual. It is a lifetime experience and an initiation, a transition from a world to another. Up until recently, this new world used to be predictable. And I, as president of the university, am expected to deliver predictable words of farewell to the old, predictable words of welcome to the new world that is now emerging before you. Conventional wisdoms, I fear. The new world you are now entering is far from predictable. It is unpredictability and volatility that mark this world. A world of violence. Right next door, war there is. Human lives are perished. Human is being discredited. Human dignity is fainting. For the victims, definitely for the perpetrators, certainly for us too, us, the innocent bystanders, us who failed to effectively act upon. Yet, it is not only the state of war that brings violence and human degradation. Even in peace, the new world you are joining is a world of catastrophe and destruction. A world forging new bonds to women. A world derailing the ecological balance. A world held hostage by pandemic. However, in ceremonies like this, it is customary to focus on issues regarding employability. Yet, there is chaos and unpredictability in such issues as well. Many of you prepared for a job which in 5 years may no longer exist, or whose description may have changed significantly. Yet, national TV is full of commercials promising the future. I feel shame. Who dares promise the future as if it were something certain and tangible, when it is impossible even to describe the present? Commencers, in ceremonies like this, it is common practice to urge laureates to lead and to change the world for the better. This urge is part and parcel of the predictable, the ready-made, off-shelf words that a university president is expected to say. These words carry the expectations of many older in age, definitely many who are not graduating. We outsiders are expecting and demanding from our youth to change the world, the very world we failed to change. Commencers, kindly mark my words. Pretty soon, you will realize that in your effort to survive, you will be challenged by life itself to change this world. You will be challenged to revitalize human values. You will be called upon to reinstate the balance between human being and nature. On the other hand, as you cannot stop the disruptive development in your professional domain, you will be called upon to find the means that will show you how to remain resilient, to adapt, to survive, to remain in work. To pursue these two targets, namely, change the world and remain in work, you will need an Archimedean platform, a point of reference, an azimuth. You will find your Archimedean topos in the name and mission of our institution. Our mission calls you to contribute to the economic and social development of your community. Our name includes Hellenic. Hellenic is a mindset. Hellenic does not define ethnicity or blood, nor does it signify residence. In a striking reference to our mission, Hellenic means putting the interests of the community over those of the individual. Hellenic means the self-fulfillment of the individual through the community, through the polis. But Hellenic stands also on its own. It stands for human respect for the nature. Hellenic stands for the genuine interest of knowing the other with capital O, of interacting with the other with capital O. Η ψυχή μέλη γνώσεστε αυτήν εσ ψυχήν αυτή βλεπτέων. Platon. A soul, if it is to know itself, must look into the soul of the other. Hellenic stands also for accepting the individuality of the other without losing one's own. Hellenic is the mindset which around 800 BC led the Hellenes after they left their polis to settle in the shores of the Mediterranean and the Black Sea, not as conquerors, but as peers, not as overlords, but as traders. They met, they became good neighbors, they established symbiotic relationships with a huge range of different peoples and tribes. Hellenic is the mindset that led Alexander and his successors to the birth of the known world of those times, to the creative symbiosis amongst diverse cultural and linguistic communities. It is the mindset that made Alexander and the Hellenes welcome to Afghanistan, the very same place where 3 empires after him failed, though they tried. Hellenic is the mindset that guided the communities of Greek diaspora to become active citizens within communities and countries across the world, contributing to their moral and material development. What I'm suggesting is that you claim ownership on the mission of the university, that you claim ownership on Hellenic, and turn these into your own mission and into your own mindset. What I'm suggesting is that you take on the responsibility for the future of this world. Are you trying to Hellenize us? Nope. I am fully aware of the fact that our community, students, faculty, and staff, comes from 33 countries across the globe. As I explained, however, Hellenic does not define ethnicity or residence, but a mindset, an ecumenical philosophy, which I'm urging you to actively adopt. Furthermore, to face the fluidity in your professional life, I urge you to use as point of reference yet another component of our university's name, which is tightly connected to the undergraduate studies. I'm focusing now on the word American as a part of our name. An integral part of undergraduate studies in American institutions is general education. It is this part of your studies which cultivates the so-called soft skills: critical thinking, problem solving, flexibility, adaptability, empathy, decision making, teamwork, most of all, ethical principles. These are the competencies general education aspires to highlight. Today, these competencies are the most wanted competencies in working environments around the globe. Indeed, general education encapsulates the competencies that prove to be the hard skills of our alumni. These skills allow a graduate of an American university to seek and absorb new knowledge, to acquire new skills. General education allows the alumni to remain strong and adaptable to the sudden and quick changes in the job market, to remain lifelong learners, to recognize, to acknowledge, to embrace innovation and learning. General education teaches us how to learn. Commencers, if we have succeeded in instilling to you the Hellenic ecumenical mindset and the capacity of lifelong learning, we have offered you the azimuth for your own course. By the same token, today's honorary degree recipients have not been chosen randomly. They are paradigms. Their life and work reflect all I urge you to adopt yourselves. All the different colors that are reflected in our mission and name. Each one of these individuals has emerged as creative mind in their field. They work on the intellectual appetite, they took on the intellectual appetite of the eternal student and the thirst to plow deeper into their field. They took on the magnanimity to share their knowledge and experience with as many as possible. They are bearers of the Hellenic mindset. We turn to them as trustees of the legacy of our institution. Honoring them, we honor our name and mission. Commencers, as of today, you are entering a new world, not a brave one, nor an easy one. Every single step you take is going to be a test, a trial. Along with you, this university is being tested. Our mission is being tested. Our name is being tested. Our faculty and all of us are being tested. My colleagues and I, as guardians of our mission and our name, we promise you to stand next to you and, to the best of our ability, support you in your path. Supporting you, we continue refounding and reshaping our young institution until you will be able to support your alma mater. Laureates of the Hellenic American University, I congratulate you. I salute you as comrades in arms. Laureates of the Hellenic American University, lead us to the future. Laureates of the Hellenic American University, take us with you.
Thank you, President Koskos, for your inspirational remarks. They reflect the university's mission and serve as a beacon for the university's present and future, and move our students forward. It is my privilege to call again upon the President of Hellenic American University in order to confer the degrees upon the class of 2020, 2021, and 2022. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Linguistics please rise? Mr. President, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates who have successfully completed the curriculum in applied linguistics at the doctoral level, offered by Hellenic American University, including successfully submitting their dissertation and completing its defense, and having been recommended by the faculty to be awarded the Doctorate of Philosophy degree in applied linguistics in recognition of their academic accomplishments.
It is my privilege to call again upon, by virtue of the authority vested in this university by the legislature of the state of New Hampshire, and the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Hellenic American University, I do hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Linguistics with all honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Congratulations, Maria Stamatelou. Congratulations, Maria Stamatelou, Panayota Bourdzouklou, Bilge Kalkavan, and Vretos Steliou for your accomplishment. I would like to invite Dr. Tolias as well as Dr. House to join President Koskos on stage as we proceed with the hooding of our doctoral candidates. I would also like to ask Dr. House to take her position in the podium for the reading of the doctoral commendation.
Ms. Panayota Bourdzouklou fulfilled her requirements of the doctoral program in applied linguistics by writing her dissertation on how achievement goal orientation affects English language teachers and their continuing professional development. Congratulations, Panayota. Ms. Bilge Kalkavan fulfilled her requirements of the doctoral program in applied linguistics by writing her dissertation on storytelling in multilingual focus groups, the teaching and learning of Turkish in Greece. Congratulations, Bilge. Mr. Vretos Steliou fulfilled his requirement of the doctoral program in applied linguistics by writing his dissertation on understanding hybridity and entrainment effects in professional communication. I'm not finished with the title. The title goes on. A multi-perspective critical genre analytic study. That's the full title. Congratulations. Ms. Maria Stamatilou fulfilled her requirements of the doctoral program in applied linguistics by writing her dissertation on Analyzing Discourse of Trust, 1960s US presidential debates. Congratulations.
And now is the time for conferring the degrees to all our graduate and undergraduate students. Will the candidates for the graduate degree of Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics TESOL please rise? Will the candidates for the graduate degree of Master of Arts in Conference Interpreting please rise? Will the candidates for the graduate degree of Master of Arts in Translation please rise? Will the candidates for the graduate degree of Master of Business Administration please rise? Will the candidates for the graduate degree of Master of Science in Informatics please rise? Will the candidates for the graduate degree of Master of Science in Psychology please rise? Will the candidates for the graduate degree of Master of Science in Sales Management please rise? Mr. President, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates who have successfully completed curricula offered by Hellenic American University at the graduate level and have been recommended by the faculty to be awarded appropriate degrees in recognition of their academic accomplishments.
By virtue of the authority vested in this university by the legislature of the state of New Hampshire and the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Hellenic American University, I do hereby confer upon you, respectively, the graduate degrees of Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, Master of Arts in Conference Interpreting, Master of Arts in Translation, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Informatics, Master of Science in Psychology, Master of Science in Sales Management, with all honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereunto.
Congratulations. You may now move your tassels from right to left, signifying the awarding of your degree. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the undergraduate degree of Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature please rise? Will the candidates for the undergraduate degree of Bachelor of Music please rise? Will the candidates for the undergraduate degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration please rise? Will the candidates for the undergraduate degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering please rise? Will the candidates for the undergraduate degree of Bachelor of Science in Psychology please rise? Will the candidates for the undergraduate degree of Bachelor of Science in Informatics please rise? Mr. President, it is my privilege to to present to you the candidates who have successfully completed undergraduate curricula offered by Hellenic American University and have been recommended by the faculty to be awarded appropriate degrees in recognition of their academic accomplishments.
By virtue of the authority vested in this university by the legislature of the state of New Hampshire, and the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Hellenic American University, I do hereby confer upon you, respectively, the undergraduate degrees of Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Informatics, Bachelor of Science in Psychology, with all honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereunto.
Congratulations. You may now move your tassels from right to left, signifying the awarding of your degree. As you are now lining up to receive your diplomas, I would like again to offer you my deep congratulations to all of you, the members of Hellenic American University's undergraduate and graduate class of 2020, 2021, and 2022. Your academic accomplishments are significant. You must really feel that, and they must be seen as such. They serve as a beacon for the rest of your lives, professional and personal. I, as well as the faculty, are very proud of you. We admonish you to carry on and to continue learning, continue contributing as active and productive members of our society, to continue making the mission of our institution of pursuit of learning, excellence, and service to society a reality. It is now the university's honor for the members of the class of 2020, 2021, and 2022 to receive your degrees. Anna Evangelia Roboti, Bachelor of Science Psychology, summa cum laude, valedictorian.
Δανάη Δέσποινα Τοπαλίδη, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, Maltisol, summa cum laude, valedictorian.
Rami Alexios Abu Hajiji, Bachelor of Arts in English, Language and Literature, magna cum laude, salutatorian.
Λαμπρινή Καραχούντρη, Master of Science in Informatics, summa cum laude, valedictorian.
David Edmund Labelle, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature, cum laude, valedictorian.
Πολυξένη Σιρηνίδη, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, summa cum laude, valedictorian.
Emmanuel Oluwakatumise Aderido, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Surbi Haisel Kamur Bhaz, Master of Science in Informatics.
Irini Ba Pedulaki, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Harula Baltu, Master of Business Administration, cum laude.
Nikolaos Atsaloglu, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Athanasios Adonopoulos, Master of Science in Psychology, cum laude.
Ekaterini Avyerinou, Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Δανάη Ασδέρης Χινά, Master of Arts in Translation, summa cum laude.
Konstantinos Athanasselis, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Anves Aribadi, Master of Business Administration.
Elisabeth Anagnou, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Ksenia Argiri, Master of Arts in Translation, magna cum laude.
Konstantinos Arkodikis, Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Ekaterini Anastasopoulou, Master of Arts in Conference Interpreting, summa cum laude.
Androniki Ioanna Gelopoulou, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Eleftheria Harba, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, cum laude.
Valentina Iliazi, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Georgios Delis, Master of Business Administration.
Ioanna Georgiou, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Maria Chrysikopoulou, Master of Business Administration.
Marina Theodoru Galanou, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Josefina De Gaita, Master of Business Administration, cum laude.
Antonia Fragopoulou, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Konstantina Chondrogianni, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, summa cum laude.
Evdokia Chondrou, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Angeliki Hadji, Master of Science in Psychology.
Iulia Fatourou, Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Mikhail Dimitris Bolotis, Master of Science in Informatics, cum laude.
Olta Barai, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Konstantina Georgada, Master of Science in Sales Management.
Maria Anastasia Kyriakidou, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Anna Yanadopoulou, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, magna cum laude. Congrats.
Ioanna Katsianaki, Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Vasiliki Gaki, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics.
Sofia Kapatai, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature, magna cum laude.
Christina Florou, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics. There you go.
Athanasia Karamanu, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Natalia Fixmer, Master of Arts in Translation, cum laude.
Irini Evdokia Kaloudzoglou, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Ilias Famis, Master of Business Administration, magna cum laude. Woo!
Ilias Kakabakos, Bachelor of Science in Engineering.
Tina Efstratiadis, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, summa cum laude.
Joy Tokero Talorina, Bachelor of Science in Informatics.
Dimitrios Kanelis, Master of Science in Informatics.
Aisan Trahanha, Bachelor of Science Psychology, magna cum laude. Anastasia Molu, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Irini Kalandzi, Master of Science in Psychology, magna cum laude.
Evangelos Markoutsas, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Argiro Kafasi, Master of Business Administration.
Andreas Liros, Bachelor of Science in Psychology, cum laude.
Samar Hamyed, Master of Business Administration.
Georgios Makroglu, Bachelor of Science in Informatics.
Konstantina Geki, Master of Business Administration.
Urania Koulouri, Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Maria Yanikopoulou, Master of Business Administration.
Georgios Kasimis, Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Xan Figyatsi, Master of Science in Sales Management.
Despina Pouroutsidi, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Maria Coroneu, Master of Science in Psychology, magna cum laude.
Eleni Plimenou, Bachelor of Science in Psychology, magna cum laude.
Christos Kotonikolakou, Master of Business Administration.
Denis Plakou, Bachelor of Science in Engineering.
Fotini Kefala, Master of Arts in Translation, cum laude.
Dimitrios Platis, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, cum laude.
Kariklia Katsarelia, Master of Arts in Conference Interpreting, magna cum laude.
Theodora Nyaniaka, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Ioanna Katsarou, Master of Arts in Conference Interpreting.
Athina Papathanasiou, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Dimitra Karousou, Master of Science in Psychology.
Dimitrios Georgios Nanouris, Bachelor of Science in Informatics.
Alexandra Kapodistria, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics. Hi, Alex.
Maria Nasiou, Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Ahmed Kalel, Master of Business Administration.
Emmanuel Tsiros, Bachelor of Science in Psychology, summa cum laude.
Stavroula Magiropoulou, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, summa cum laude.
Edemtsukou John Udetsukou, Bachelor of Science in Informatics.
Ekaterini Louvru, Master of Business Administration, cum laude.
Bertina Stabouliou, Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Natalia Litra, Master of Arts in Translation.
Alexis Tatarino, Bachelor of Science in Informatics.
Alexandros Lavdas, Master of Business Administration, cum laude.
Stavroula Semitekoglou, Bachelor of Music.
Vasiliki Lismani, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, summa cum laude.
Olatipoupou Olade Soemimo, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology.
Michaela Kyriazi, Master of Arts in Translation, magna cum laude.
Ariadne Rachioti, Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Nikolaos Kouravanas, Master of Science in Psychology.
Agapi Retsou, Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Polixeni Kotsira, Master of Arts in Conference Interpreting. Wow.
Ekaterini Zouganelli, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Theodoros Georgios Danos, Master of Business Administration.
Χαριτίνη Ζωγραφάκη, Bachelor of Science in Psychology, cum laude.
Ilias Nikopoulos, Master of Business Administration.
Iliana Verleki, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Maria Neofotistou, Master of Arts in Conference Interpreting, cum laude.
Niki Xarchakou, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Nikolaos Mastrokolias, Master of Business Administration.
Christos Venetsanopoulos, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Emma Mdjougi, Master of Business Administration.
Natalia Antonia Balsami, Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature.
Eleni Marieli, Master of Business Administration.
Styliani Zikaki, Master of Business Administration, cum laude.
Vasilis Manousakis, Master of Science in Psychology.
Bobby Zervas, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics.
Mirto Manu, Master of Arts in Conference Interpreting, cum laude.
Georgios Yakas, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, TESOL, summa cum laude.
Ekaterini Papamarkou, Master of Arts in Conference Interpreting, magna cum laude.
Panagiotis Vulgaris, Master of Science in Sales Management, magna cum laude.
Kimon Papakostas, Master of Science in Sales Management.
Maria Vrodaki, Master of Science in Informatics.
Nicoleta Papagiannopoulou, Master of Arts in Translation.
Maria Vekiou, Master of Arts in Translation, cum laude.
Irini Papadimitriou, Master of Business Administration.
Elpida Dzika, Master of Science in Information Technology.
Maria Anna Papadatu, Master of Arts in Translation, cum laude.
Athina Janakaki, Master of Science in Psychology.
Theodora Padeli, Master of Science in Psychology.
Labrini Tsourapa, Master of Arts in Translation.
Anna Pagalou, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics, summa cum laude.
Anthula Tsaprouni, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics.
Spiridon Omri, Master of Science in Sales Management.
Ioanna Zerva, Master of Arts in Translation.
Dolfos Ertaridou, Master of Business Administration.
Nikolitsa Tsakoumi, Master of Arts in Interpreting.
Angela Mary Sepella, Master of Business Administration.
Ekaterini Tsilimbari, Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics.
Kaliopis Adamouri, Master of Arts in Translation, cum laude.
Marina Tsakona, Master of Business Administration.
Χρυσεύγενη Παναγιώτα Ψηλιά, Master of Arts in Translation.
Pagona Ioanna Tilianaki, Master of Business Administration.
Σεβαστή Πολίτη, Master of Science in Informatics, summa cum laude.
Marianthi Tetravi, Master of Business Administration.
Δημήτριος Πετρόπουλος, Master of Science in Informatics.
Nikki Strikou, Master of Business Administration.
Alexandra Papa, Katsiafa, Master of Science in Psychology.
Karina Surina, Master of Science in Psychology.
Alexandra Angeliki Papamanoli, Master of Arts in Translation, summa cum laude.
Mario Sinas, Master of Science in Self-Management, magna cum laude. Maria Sigala, Master of Arts in Translation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a warm applause in honor of today's graduates. I would like to ask that the audience remain at their seats while pictures are taken, and then the platform party, faculty, and graduates process out. I will wait for photographers to tell me that all group photos have been taken. This 2022 graduation ceremony of Hellenic American University is now concluded.